committee to see who who is the best at this particular time. So
Go to Bob here in the front.
For Darryl Dwight, it was '88 was the last time these two teams faced each other in the NLCS. What do you remember from that series, and did you think that '88 club was actually better than the '86 World Series champion team?
Wow, yeah, I was having a great day till you brought that up. you know, obviously from '88, what I remember is the Mike Social home run in game, I guess 5. Because we win that game, we go up 3-1. Obviously, I made a bad pitch to Mike Social in the 9th. He had the home run. But the '88 team, I think on paper, probably was better than the '86 team on paper. But I think the '86 team, we had chemistry, we had heart. And what I mean by that, we was a lot closer than just ball players. I mean, we spent more time together than we did with our families at that time. Spent a lot of time together on the road. And I think that plays a big part of getting to know your teammates personally. So I would say '88 on paper was probably a little better, but the '86 team, I'll put that team against anybody.
yeah, that's a good point, Doc. The '88 team was more talented than the '86 team. The '86 team had more guts than the '88 team. It was just a different breed of players with Ray Knight, Kevin Mitchell, players that didn't fear the situation and the opportunity. I think the '88 series against the Dodgers was heartbreaking, yeah. I've never gotten over that, losing that '88 series. But you got to remember the Dodgers were extremely hot coming in, playing at the end of that season. And they had some big moments. Social home run, Gibson, he did. Kirk did something at big home runs. They just did things right. Playoff baseball is about who comes up with the big hit in the big situation, and who doesn't. And I think that's what happened in an '88 series for us. But the '86 series, we had players on the team that sat on the bench, and if you got ahead in the ball game against us, we knew we were coming back and win. And that was the difference. We didn't have that kind of same feeling. The chemistry was different, and like I said, the '86 team had a lot of guts. We realized that we was not going to lose. We were going to come back no matter what the circumstances was.
And did it make you feel any better or worse that '88 Dodger team beat a heavily favored Oakland A's team as well?
It made me feel better after they went on the sweep down. That just reminded me after them playing a 7-game series like that, and both teams were drained, and pitching was drained, and the Dodgers go on and sweep that Oakland team, which was supposed to be the team of the century that year. Better than everybody else, and kind of made me feel better. After seeing that, I kind of just was able to turn it over. It was hard to turn that series over, that 1988 series over, but I had to eventually leave it there and get past it. But when Oakland beat them, when they beat Oakland, then it made you feel a lot better.
We'll stay in the front row on the left side.
You guys brought up the comebacks from '86. This team obviously does that as well. But anything else of this current team remind you of that '86 team?
I think watching it, obviously I was a pitcher, but I think the lineup is very deep. Our lineup was very deep, that anybody in our lineup can hurt you. There's no one guy that you could pitch around and feel comfortable with. And I know being a pitcher, when you face a lineup like that, there's no breathing room. Normally when you're facing a weak team, the first 3 innings you're trying to get yourself together, find your rhythm. But a lineup like what the Mets have, you have to be ready from the first hitter on and go. And the Mets been able to do that for the most part.
Yeah, I think these guys really believe in themselves, which is good. They had a great run at the end of the season to get to this place. Lindor come up with some big hits for them in crucial situations. That's what it takes. And I think, Pete, with his big home run in Milwaukee, was a really turning point for them as a group, because it takes all your guys to be able to perform in those particular situations, and they all did. And that's what it takes to get to this next level, to be able to get to the National League Championship and advance and try to get to the series. These guys are good in big situations. Viento, he's good. Young player. He's good. He's not afraid. He's not trying to do too much. He's trying to just put the ball in play, and he's strong. He can hit the ball to the opposite field like he did. Hit the grand slam the other day, and big home runs in the series against Philly. They just do the little things. They do it just like we did. You know, you get in those situations. You don't have to really count on just one particular guy to do it all the time. It's like, okay, we play today, we win today. Let somebody do it. Whoever wants to do it, do it. And that's what baseball is really all about when you get into playoff baseball, because it's a short window, it's a short time, and it's not guaranteed it's going to always be like this for you. And you got to take advantage of it. And I think they've done a great job of taking advantage of those situations that they've been in.
Come over to Laura on the right side.
When you guys won in '86, you obviously broke a pretty significant World Series drought in the city. What does it mean, or what would it mean for a team like this to break now a 38-year drought as the New York Mets?
I think it'll be a big deal, obviously for the organization, but just for the city of New York. You know, as Darryl mentioned earlier, it was all about the Yankees through the 90s and the early 2000s. But for the Mets to do that and break that drought, I think it'll be big for the city, big for the fans, and obviously for the organization. But the only way, I mean, I think it's not always the best team that wins, the hottest team once you get in the postseason. But I think this team is building for the future as well. But I would like to see it happen this year.
I would say they would get a lot of free food and a lot of free clothes. Because when you win here, the people in this city take care of you. I know that for us when we won in '86 and we came back, we never had to pay for anything. So it's a great place to win. It's a great place to play. It's a great place to have fun. Because when you win in a place like New York City, you are bigger than life, because this is a very tough place to play, and the expectations are real. And you know, once you get a hold of that and you're the champions of the city, this city will embrace you.
And also, you guys had mentioned toughness. I mean, that '86 team, known to be a little bit rough and tumble, also known as something of a juggernaut. This team's a little bit
Juggernaut?
Yeah, you guys were pretty.
No, we were crazy. We wasn't a juggernaut.
I was being nice.
We were a different breed. We were who we were. In the '80s, you can be like that, and for us, you know, we had a different personality. We had a lot of swagger about ourselves. We didn't care. We didn't care what people think about us. You didn't like us, oh well. You know, we had a slogan and what we were going to do. I can't sit here and tell you what it was, but it was a lot of fun being who we were back in those days.
So I guess my question is, this team is known to be a little bit quirkier, you know, a little bit scrappier. Do you see that type of toughness in the current version, in the acceptable version for 2024?
Well, yeah, of course. You know, for now, it's acceptable how they are. They're fun to watch. You know, that's the most important thing about them. They're not afraid of the moment. They've learned the moment, and they've learned how to be in it, and they've learned how to make the best out of it. And when you get to that place, you're going to be good. You know, their future is bright with the younger players that they have coming through the organization, and they got a chance to be just like we were every year. We had a young group that would come through the farm system and play at the highest level here and had a chance to win. So they will have a chance to win moving forward. I don't think this is just a one-time hit for them. I think they're headed in the right direction in what they're doing over here with the front office. David Stearns and all that he's doing, he has a great knowledge of baseball, because when you look, he come from Milwaukee, and what he built over there don't have the payroll that they have over here, and they've been very successful. So I could just imagine what he's going to be able to build over here. I'm going forward with the younger players and blending in some veteran players.
We'll stay on the right side, Zach.
Darryl, when you had your jersey retired in early June, the team was 10 under 500, and I think you gave your speech out in the field, and you addressed the team during your speech, and you said, like, you know, believe in yourselves. You can, you know, you guys can do it. And who, you know, at the time, nobody really, I guess, thought much of it. Do you kind of remember that speech to the team during? And what do you remember about that?
Of course. I mean, I spent time with them down in spring training, and I saw them, and I saw the talent that they had of players, and it was just a matter of time to believe in. We can do it. We got to put it together as a group, and I just tried to encourage them, you know, because they was going through a tough stretch there, and everybody was being very difficult and hard on them, and and we know what that's like as a player playing here. I've been there and experienced that, but I just wanted them to realize that the table can turn when you guys start believing in each other. When it's not about just your own personal stats, and when it becomes about team, and that's what they needed to do, and they picked it up. They made it about team. They've been through the struggle the year before, and a couple years before they've been close, and then they get knocked out. But this year I just saw something different in them. You know, they were more of a team that just needed to rally around each other, and I guess that's what they did. They probably went in and had a team meeting and say, hey, you know, we got to look at each other. We got to hold each other accountable, and we got to step up and pull together. And they did that. And that's why they are where they are today, because that's what teams have to do. Good teams do that. And the thing about them is they are just figuring out the identity of who they are, you know, as a team. They got a bunch of mixed players in from all over the place. You really don't know yourself early in the season. And it takes a while to get there. And I know it was June, and everybody thought they were done, but I truly believe that they was not done, and I believe they had a push, and they made a push to get in, and that's all you have to do these days, you know, is to make a push to get into the playoffs, and you got a chance to beat anybody once you get in.
All right, we have time for two more. We'll go to Bill in the middle, and we'll finish here on the right side.
Thanks. Darryl, having unfortunately seen your team at Crenshaw from the other side of the field, which did not go well for my team, your team was so great. Have you been able to stay in touch with people at Crenshaw to help with their program at all, to try to keep them? I know they're not going to get 5 draft picks anymore, but things like that, have you been able to help lift them?
No, I mean, I know it's not the same there anymore from my understanding. You know, it was a great school with great players. A lot of baseball players came out of there, myself, Chris Brown, and so many other guys. We were very successful coming out of Crenshaw High. We are the original Crenshaw High guys. Everybody else talk about Crenshaw, but they didn't actually go to Crenshaw. We actually went to school there, and we had a lot of success there. And so I hope they can realize how good of a school it really is, and get back to putting guys on the baseball field just as well as they put them on the basketball court.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, when you signed with the Dodgers, we thought, and I think you may have thought, that it could have been, homecoming, great guy. Didn't unfortunately work out as well there as it did here. Do you have times when you look back on that and wish it had gone differently?
Well, no, my first season worked out well. I just ran into the wall and dislocated my shoulder, my first season there. I think a lot of people don't really understand that, but I had never been seriously hurt. I've been hurt a couple times, but at the beginning of a season, and I still drove in 99 ribbies that year. My first season after missing almost over a month and a half of the season with a bad shoulder. Of course, they patted the wall late the next day, but it was a day too late. So, but that's how things work out. Sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. My career here worked out well. It was very successful playing here in the city. I guess I just really enjoyed the fact of what it was like to play here. My issue was never the city. It was never the people, when I became a free agent. My issue was dealing with the front office. I didn't have a relationship. It was broken, so I ended up signing with the Dodgers.
And we'll finish up here on the right side.
Hey, guys, two-part question. One, was 1988 the first thing you thought about when Mets-Dodgers, the series was finalized? And I have a follow-up.
Not for me, not off the bat. I was just happy that the Mets advanced, past the Phillies. Obviously, a divisional rivalry. So I was happy they got past them. Obviously, playing the Dodgers, like you just brought up, you get ask questions that kind of take you back to what could have been. So I'm just hoping they get past the Dodgers this time.
Darryl, about did you think of 88 when this matchup was finalized?
Of course. How could I not think of 88? 88 sucked for me. I never got past 88. And I'm thinking to myself when it's the Mets and the Dodgers, I says, well, I hope the Mets get the revenge back and beat them, for the 88 season that we lost to them. Like I said before, that Dodger team, they beat us. and they beat a good ball club. They didn't beat any ball club. They beat a great ball club in that '88 series, and it was heartbreaking. So, hopefully going forward, the next couple games here, the Met fans will come out and support the ball club. And like I said, the Dodgers are just not going to lay down. They got a good ball club over there too. So it's going to be a tough series, and it made the best team come out on top.
The other thing, though, if you guys look at the numbers in '88, just look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie, right? He should have been MVP in '88, not Gibson.
And you guys won the first 2 games Oral started in that series. Oral, of course, had that great September. Like, what do you remember about thinking, winning 2 out of 3 against him? And did you feel like in a really good position after those 2? You had a rain out in there, I think. And what do you remember thinking about how the team felt being Oral twice?
It wasn't so much about Oral, like Darryl said. They had a great team. It was just about winning that series. Obviously, during the regular season, I think we beat them, 10 out of 11 or 11 out of 12 or what have you. So we thought we didn't take them light, but we thought we had the advantage of them. But let them off the hook. They got hot at the right time, and Oral got hot at the right time.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and when you're in a series like that, if you don't close it out, and we didn't close it out, you had to be able to close those games out. And like I said, it's a short window, and if you make mistakes and players come up with big hits, I don't know how Doc walked T-Bone Shelby. All you had to do is bounce one up there. But it's just the moment, it's the moment you're in and everything. We can reflect back because we know we were right in it, and it was heartbreaking to be able to go through that and to see Socha hit that big home run. So, but that's what playoff baseball is all about. Somebody's going to come up, and somebody's going to be in a situation, and somebody's going to get a big hit, and it changes the situation of the game. And that's what it was for the Dodgers, and it changed that series for us, and they went on to beat us in that series.
All right, Doc, Darryl, appreciate the time. Have fun
Thank you,
tonight.
guys.
Thank you, guys. All right.